So recently I posted a video asking everybody what their questions were about this guitar. So this is the GOC Illumina Plus 6-string. I got in on this run a couple of weeks back. It was one of their limited batch releases like they tend to do. The questions were way more than I could answer in one single response. And so, making a longer video now, just to kind of showcase all of the features and things on this guitar. Now, to start out, this guitar was only $855. So, you can see this thing looks pretty sick. Especially for $855. I've spent more money on a guitar before that didn't look this good, to be honest with you. So I'm going to read some of the specs for this guitar verbatim right now. So the body is Northern American ash with a burled top. It's an ergo profile open pore finish, which is actually really, really nice. You can feel all the wood grain on it. There's a 3-way selector switch, 1 volume pot, which is honestly great for me. Don't need the tone pot at any point, honestly. You do have the input jack right here. It's really cool how it's recessed and there's no like screws holding it in or anything. Really like how that looks. The pickups are GOC's Paragon Alnico calibrated set. There is something really cool about this guitar. There's a battery clip. I don't know if the camera's picking that up, but there's a battery clip pre-installed on this guitar. Not because it has active pickups or anything, but just in case you ever want to put active pickups in it. That's actually pretty sick and a really great foresight from a company, just in case somebody wants to replace pickups in it, right? All right, as you can tell from the fan frets here, this is a multi-scale guitar. So on this one, it's a 25 to a 26-inch multi-scale. One of the main reasons I got it, actually. The neck is micarta, which is a really cool like composite material. The neck shape is their AO neck shape, which is very, very interesting. So I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up here, but you'll notice we've got a really like kind of like an edge right here, like a flat edge, very similar to Strandberg, I would say, on this side. But if we flip it over, it actually gets very rounded, which is really cool because it's comfortable for it to fit in the hand there. But my thumb rests perfectly right here when I'm doing especially larger chords, but even speed runs and things of that sort. It's very, very comfortable to hold this neck. It was really weird at first, kind of like when I picked up a Strandberg for the first time. But now I've gotten used to it and it's a very comfortable neck. I've gotten used to it super quickly. 2-way adjustable truss rod, and what's great is it's right here at the heel, so you can actually adjust it very, very simply with just a little steel rod that they give you. What else do we have here? So a Richlite fretboard, which means basically zero maintenance aside from cleaning it. You don't have to oil this or anything if you don't want to. I don't think it would do anything if you did. 16-inch radius on here. We do have the side dots and then we have the inlays all down the fretboard, which are kind of stealth looking, which is pretty sick. I like how clean this fretboard looks, to be honest with you. Dual carbon rod reinforced neck as well, so super stable. I did have to adjust the neck a little bit upon getting it, but that's because I dropped it down to D standard. So obviously most necks would have to be adjusted at that point. I just had to add a little bit of relief to it. And other than that, it's been perfect. The bridge is something a lot of people have asked about. So the bridge on here, you'll notice, is a little bit different than a Strandberg bridge. So each of the pieces has a little slot in it, and that slot is so that you can take a guitar pick and fit in and turn it. So you'll notice that some people do say these are very hard to turn by hand, and they are. These are hard to turn by hand. Now, I think all of us can agree we always have a guitar pick on us, right? Pretty easy to just fit that guitar pick in here and turn that little tuning peg. Now what's great about these being hard to turn is that it stays in tune remarkably well. There's no like me accidentally hitting any of these tuners on my leg when I'm resting it on my leg and knocking this thing out of tune. Haven't had really any problems aside from like, you know, when strings start to die out, then your tuning starts to go to hell basically. So I actually really love this bridge. So far it's been easy to adjust. I adjusted intonation once. Very similar to most headless bridges, there's just an Allen key right underneath there. So you need to kind of move the string out of the way, loosen the string, loosen the Allen key, and then you can move the saddle back and forth. Up here, you've got dual locking screws to keep the strings in there. I haven't had a single issue with anything slipping right there. I also don't have any issues with noise up there either, which is great, even though there is a little bit of string between the nut and the actual little head post here. No issues with string noise whatsoever. You can see the back there. But yeah, that's the fit and finish of this guitar. I guess we should go ahead and go into some guitar tones. So I'm going to go ahead and go through some clean tones, even though I don't play much cleans. For anybody that knows any of my work, I have like one song with clean work in it. So we're going to do some cleans. We're going to go into some high gain rhythm tones because that's mostly what I play anyways. So the two different plugins that we'll be using today are the Neural DSP Archetype Plini X and then Neural DSP Archetype Gojira. I chose both of those because honestly most of you that are watching this probably have those plugins, so this is what this exact guitar will sound like through them. I have no extra post like processing or EQ or anything done outside of the plugins themselves, which is just very minor EQ shaping, like a low and high pass filter on both of them, I believe. Very basic setup. Anybody can set this up and get it sounding almost exactly the same as what I've got here. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I hope that gives you a good idea of what this guitar sounds like. I mean, I don't know about you, but for 855 bucks, I would struggle to say there's a better sounding guitar out there than this one, especially in the headless guitar realm, because headless guitars are expensive. Let's be real. If you look at the price of a Strandberg or Kiesel or any of the various other guitar manufacturers that are making headless guitars, they're easily 2 to 3 times the price of this guitar. And I would bet money, honestly, that you can play these side by side with those guitars and admit that this holds its own in quality control, in tone, in playability, and honestly, I don't think you can go wrong for this price. So again, I am not sponsored by GOC in any way. I did fork out my own money for this guitar. I'd been thinking about them for a while. I'd seen a lot of their different drops. I thought about getting one of those really cool like hot pink or really bright blue ones, but I went for this really sick natural color instead. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Have you guys played a GOC guitar, or would you consider buying one? Let me know.